Hey everybody, February 1st here, and it's a beautiful 60-degree day. It was super cold the past couple of days. We had that polar vortex outbreak, but everything is just beautiful today, and it's supposed to be really warm the next week. Mid-60s, low 70s, so I'm really excited and burning for spring. Today I just wanted to do a brief video titled, How Long Does It Take for My Fig Cuttings to Root? If you've been watching my series on figs that I've been going through since early November, you'll know this is my first time rooting fig cuttings, and I've had a lot of success, tremendous success really, for being my first time. And I wanted to show you all the different varieties that I have, how they're progressing, and show you the different dates that it took for all these different varieties to progress to their current stage. You can see the overwhelming majority of my figs look great. They are at pretty advanced stages, and there's a number of different varieties here. You can see the three that are off to the side here are not doing so well. So the first thing I want to go over with are the dates. Now, three of the varieties I received on the 2nd of November. They are the Col de Dame Noir, they are the Black Madeira KK, and the Smith fig. Then on 11/24, I received Raspberry Latte, and on 11/30, I received Italian 258. So I want to start off with my Col de Dame Noir. All of my fig cuttings were in a bag for 1 to 2 weeks before I potted them up, and I allowed the initial root nodes to start to pop out. The Col de Dame Noirs, they started sending out nodes the quickest, and you can see what they look like now. They are pretty advanced in terms of their root system, and they were very vigorous cuttings. The Smith fig cutting, this one took a while. This took over a month, maybe close to a month and a half. And it looks really nice. It's nice and green. This Black Madeira KK cutting, I was so happy when this sent roots, but again, this took over a month to root out, and now this cutting is, it'll be 3 months old. Tomorrow, actually. All of the cuttings I just showed you will be 3 months old, those specific varieties. The Raspberry Latte were by far my most vigorous cuttings. They rooted in a matter of weeks. Within 2 to 3 weeks, they sent roots. All of them. And they all look great. I mean, look at them. That is really advanced leaf growth right here. Here's another one. They look truly great. Super vigorous, very happy about them. My Italian 258, on the other hand, they were very slow to root. I potted these up the end of the first week of December, and I had 3 cuttings total. Here are 2 of them. So this has been about 2 months of progress with my Italian 258s. They took so long, I was getting worried that they weren't going to root, but they finally did. And you can see what the root masses look like. So I have 2 viable cuttings here, although I'm not super impressed with the root growth. I have a 3rd Italian 258 cutting, and that is actually right here. This Italian 258 cutting has been potted, if you can see that, since the 6th of December. I thought this thing was not going to root. I thought it was going to rot. Just 3 days ago, it sent out a little root there and a little root there. So this Italian 258, you can see the bud growing on the side, took almost 2 entire months to root. And bear in mind, it also spent close to 2 weeks wrapped up in paper towels to try to coax out the little root nodes from the bottom. Separately, you can see this Smith cutting. This Smith cutting I have had since the 2nd of November. It's been sitting in this pot since the 6th of December. So I had this wrapped in paper towels, keeping warm, trying to coax out its growth for over a month before I finally potted this up. And this still has no roots to be found. Nothing. Nothing at all. This is starting to send out a bud though. This bud was not moving until a week ago. So this leads me to believe that the cutting is finally waking up, and I may get some roots out of that. But you can see, this cutting I have had in my possession for 3 months. I haven't given up on it, but 3 months, and that's the only progress I have to show for it. That other Italian 258, 2 months. and I finally have a root. This Black Madeira KK, I still have no progress on this at all. And again, I've had this in my possession for 3 months tomorrow. This has no growth coming out of it. This has no roots on the bottom. I have dumped the soil out of this, and I have taken the cutting and examined it. It's not rotting. If I peel away the hardwood, there's still a green cambium layer under it. So it's still a healthy cutting, no rot. It just isn't doing anything at all. So I'm trying to keep this as warm as possible with a heating mat on the bottom. I'm still determined to try to get some kind of root growth out of this. And finally, here is my Col de Dame Blanc. I only purchased this one cutting, and I'm regretting it because it's not doing anything yet. This has been potted up since December 30th. So I've had this in my possession for over a month. Prior to that, it was wrapped in paper towels for a week, and it was starting to send little nodes out of the side. So this is 5-6 weeks of progress, still nothing to be shown for it. So I'm going to be very patient with that because I really want that cutting to be successful. But the point I'm trying to get here is that there is no predefined time frame that it takes for a cutting to root. It seems like anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks is about the norm, but that by no means means that if nothing has happened within 5-6 weeks that you should give up and abandon your cutting. If nothing has happened within 6 weeks, maybe consider dumping your soil, checking the cutting, make sure it's not rotting, washing it off and starting all over again. I strongly recommend that you add bottom heat as well, because I'm very convinced that you want the bottom of the cuttings to be warmer than you want the tops of the cuttings, because you really want to stimulate that root growth, just like if the cutting was planted in earth in the winter time. The earth temperature is going to be a lot warmer than the air temperature, so you want to simulate that in your own cuttings at home. So that's basically what I wanted to touch on here. There is no correct time for a cutting to root. If it's been a month and nothing has happened, don't worry. It doesn't mean that you failed. Just stay the course. Don't change your course and add too much heat so they get some kind of rot. Don't add more water so they get some kind of rot. You know, keep them in indirect sunlight with bottom heat. Try to keep the bottoms of your cuttings around 75 degrees or so. Don't try to get them above 80 degrees. Don't put them in too humid of an environment that it encourages rot. Just stay the course and be patient, because they really do go at their own pace. Everyone, I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and follow along with my journey here. I'm trying to post videos as much as I can. I'm trying to make them as informative as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope we'll see you again next time.